NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
We know how.
Parents finally get an answer. Students in San Diego's largest school district won't be able to return for in-person learning until next year. Thanks for joining us. This is the Nightly Check-In. I'm Mark Mullen.
Overall, we've spent more than $45 million preparing our schools to reopen in the safest and most responsible ways possible.
The San Diego Unified School District announced its Phase 2 reopening plan would begin after winter break on January the 4th. Elementary school students would go back for in-person learning on a morning-afternoon schedule, while middle and high school students would go back 2 days a week beginning January 25th. The district has to rely on a few things to make sure their plan works. First, Phase 1 that allows vulnerable students back on campus needs to continue to be safe. Second, the federal government has to provide money so more testing is available for students and teachers. And third, of course, the spread of the virus.
If it's just too widespread in the community, then we're not going to be able to proceed to Phase 2. But we do believe that we have the mitigation. If that does not happen, we do have the mitigation measures in place.
Some parents with whom we spoke today were critical of today's announcement, calling it a smokescreen, a plan to pacify people who want their children back in school. The district says there are other parents who want to play it safely. More states are teaming up with California to make sure any COVID-19 vaccines approved by the FDA are safe before they are widely given out to people. We told you last week that 2 San Diego health experts were among a group chosen by the governor to independently review all vaccines and determine guidelines for allocating them. Governor Newsom today announced Washington, Oregon, and Nevada are joining this effort. He said they will share information with us and make their experts available to us as well.
All of us are preparing for the distribution of these vaccines and building trust with you and making sure that they're done, not just expeditiously, at least made available, but done safely.
The governor said California will not be replicating trials. Instead, health experts will be combing through data that's already available on the vaccines, just making sure they meet efficacy and safety standards. He said he doesn't believe that will cause distribution delays here in California. Meantime, there has been a big setback, though, for what was thought to be a promising treatment for COVID-19. Eli Lilly is ending a clinical trial for its antibody treatment in hospitalized COVID-19 patients. That is because U.S. government health officials have found during the study the treatment does not help hospitalized patients in their recovery. However, Eli Lilly says other studies of the drug are still going on, including in people with mild or moderate symptoms. A former FDA commissioner is now warning the United States could soon see exponential spread of the coronavirus. Dr. Scott Gottlieb says our country is now in a third spike of cases. On Friday alone, nearly 84,000 new cases were reported. Nationwide, that's a new record. Dr. Gottlieb is urging people to reconsider Halloween and Thanksgiving plans, especially if they involve older family members. Gottlieb says the country is now entering what he called a tipping point in this pandemic. 2 major wind-driven wildfires continue to burn north in Orange County. The Blue Ridge Fire is growing in YORBA, threatening homes and blackening more than 15,000 acres. Meanwhile, some progress in the fight against the Silverado fire. That's the one in Irvine. Winds have diminished a bit and are on fire crew's side. Some evacuations have been lifted. While most of the elevated fire conditions remain to our north, here's what we're expecting, basically a warm-up. Here's Dagmar.
For today, you will notice that it's still dry. Wind's still a little on the breezy side. We've still got this offshore pressure gradient, but your temperatures for this Wednesday starting to warm just a little bit by 1, maybe 2 degrees. This will be a slow, steady, gradual warm up as we head into the weekend. You'll notice the mid-70s along the coastal zones. Inland valleys, mid to upper 70s. Mountains still in the mid to upper 60s, so feeling like a fall day. Very dry out there, though, still. And the deserts at around the upper 70s, low 80s. Very dry across the region, even at the beaches. Low relative humidity, so please keep in mind, elevated fire weather continues, but other than that, it's a pretty beautiful Wednesday out there.
NBC7's Nightly Check-In is sponsored by Bill Howe Plumbing, Heating and Air, Flood and Restoration.
Call 1-800-BILL-HOWE. Bill Howe. We know how.
Bill Howe is a family-run company that is as diverse as their services, promotes employees from within, and gives back generously to the San Diego community.
I am Bill Howe.
I am Bill Howe.
We are Bill Howe.
We are Bill Howe.
Because we know how.
Restaurants across California, including here in San Diego, are asking for a refund on some fees they've had to pay during this pandemic. Cowboy Star Restaurant and Butcher Shop is part of the group filing claims against the county and state. This to recover more than $100 million in liquor licenses, health permits, and state tourism assessments. Owners like John Weber says they've been required to pay the fees in full while struggling to even stay open under the state's COVID-19 guidelines.
We understand that fees are essential, but we also don't think that anyone would argue that it doesn't make sense to be expected to pay these fees for the time that we're forced to be closed.
The county and the state have 45 days to respond to the claim, or a class action lawsuit may be filed. Amazon is looking to hire 100,000 seasonal employees. The e-commerce giant announced today it needs to basically all that help to deal with increased demand over the holiday season. The employees will help pick and pack and ship customer orders across Amazon's network of warehouses in North America, U.S. and Canada. Amazon said Texas, Maryland, Georgia, New Jersey, and here in California are the top states where it will need some help. It's going to do it for us. I'm Mark Mullen. Have a good night.